morning, America and the rest of the world. Xander J. Hobson here, stand-up comedian and entertainer, director and producer of boxing documentaries. Internet troll, to those who need internet trolling. This here is another episode of Off the Ropes Comedy, brought to you by the Brilliant Artist Movement. Hey, I'm trying to grow the platform, so please subscribe, like this video, share it, and by all means leave a comment in the comments section because I enjoy checking out the feedback from these videos that I make, as well as exchanging opinions and points of views with you all. So anyway, with that said, right, I've been separated from my wife for, a little over a year. And at some point, I made my way to the internet dating sites. Now, prior to the pandemic, I was one of these type of individuals who poo-pooed the notion of internet dating. As far as I was concerned, internet dating was the stuff of cowards, because a lot of people date on the internet because they are basically scared to approach people in person because they don't like rejection. My idea of internet dating prior to actually, getting on a site was Home Depot, Walmart, the supermarket. Real close and impersonal stuff, because listen, if I see somebody and I'm attracted to them, I can say something to them and I can find out immediately if there is a connection between us. So wasn't big on internet dating. However, when the pandemic was in full swing, a lot of people found themselves by themselves and they wanted companionship. But one of the things that I realized that people just weren't big on meeting strangers owing to the pandemic scare. I had people say, wait a minute, sir, where's your mask at? Wait a minute, have you been vaccinated? Hey, wait a minute, you have to maintain 6 feet of distance between the two of us. And, I found all that to be a little bit overbearing. And a friend of mine suggested, hey, give internet dating a try. Well, immediately I felt like a loser, because now I was talking about that group of people who I initially thought that I was better than, because these were people that I perceived didn't have the courage to approach a person in person. And of course, that's not always the case, but for the sake of comedic material, this was what I told myself. So immediately, I found myself in the age-old experience that I've had throughout my life, and that experience being everybody that I liked didn't like me, and the people who liked me, I didn't like. So this is what I was coming up against, you know what I mean? And, ain't no thing. I found this internet dating to be full of comedic material, and I've got a lot of good material from it. So, I'm one of these type of people who can roll with the punches. Now, one of the problems that I came across was I was bumping into women on the internet that I normally wouldn't be attracted to. And a lot of these women were beautiful women. However, they were a lot heavier than I myself would have liked. I've always liked women who were fit and trim. I've never been the guy who was into big women. And, one of the things I notice about women who are a little bit overweight, they lean all the way into the camera like this, and they don't give you no full body shots. They all face, because they definitely good looking women, but they not the smallest, as they say. They might be a little bit more in person. I believe the term is called catfish, and I found myself catfish on more occasions than I would like. But again, I was disadvantaged, because while I was talking to people on the internet and soul building with them, I felt some type of moral obligation to hang out with them, even though they deceived me. But again, I'm doing it for the sake of comedic material and for companionship. You know, I'm a full grown man, 54, at this stage of life, and you know, I can hang out with someone whom I'm not interested in if they are a nice person. So I said all that to say this after a bunch of dates and experiences, uh, some good ones, but more bad ones. Um, I clicked on a profile of this beautiful, beautiful lady. And I'm not going to lie to you. When I clicked on that photo, she sucked me in hook, line, and sinker. Um, that's the only way I could describe it. This was a very beautiful woman. And she and I had started with the back and forth, communicating with each other. And we eventually took it to the phones. And we eventually took it to a face-to-face, a date, a first date. And as I'm going up to meet this woman, I'm a little bit reluctant because I've had the bad experiences that I told you about. And before I got there, you know, I stopped to get her some flowers. And as I'm making my way to the house, I'm saying to myself, or I'm bracing myself for another disappointment. But when this woman came to the door, let me tell you, she didn't catfish me. I'm gonna tell you that right now. This was not no catfish. This was the real McCoy. And the crazy thing about it, right? When I saw her, I was a bit annoyed because when she walked out of the house, she had on sunglasses. And I just got this thing about people wearing sunglasses in the house. I just think it's the stuff of immaturity. And I think she probably seen, you know, my disapproving look because this woman, she flipped up those sunglasses and she hit me with the full gaze of her beauty. And let me tell you something. This woman is beautiful. That's the only way I could describe it. But if you could just sum that up, I've never in my life, never been put under a spell before. Never. I've never been hypnotized. I don't talk to gypsies. I don't do none of that shit. But this woman put a goddamn spell on me. I done been in love before, and it's been women who have been dear and dear to my heart, but they did not have a goddamn thing on this woman. Was beautiful. That's the only way I could describe her. She has snatched me in hook, line, and sinker. Let me tell you something. You got a lot of people, you got a lot of different love languages. You know, you got words of affirmation, you got physical touch, you got quality time, you got acts of service. Well, my love language is gifts. And let me tell you something. When I saw this woman, right away, I thought about giving her every dime that I had in my pocket. This is just how sucked in I was by her pulchritude. And for those of you who don't know what pulchritude is, I mean her beauty. This woman was a goddess. And at that moment, I was under a spell and I felt a euphoria like I never felt in my life. And I knew from that very moment I was in trouble. So, like, Jesus, fuck. But I don't have the courage to get away. So, she gives me a hug and off we go. And we're in the car talking, and the nature of our conversation is about catfishing and all of that kind of stuff. And we end up at this restaurant. And, you know, we over in New Jersey. And, you know, we sitting there eating and talking and enjoying each other's company. And Man, this broad is drinking like a goddamn fish, man. She just throwing back mimosas, right? And I'm like, damn, the trance is starting to wear off because I'm thinking about this goddamn money because this chick just throwing them back, right? And I'm like, shit. So, still having a good time, but I am mindful that she throwing back these drinks, right? And when the bill come, it was about $60, $70 with a tip. So I look at it, I said, oh, that ain't bad, $70 for breakfast and like a brunch type of thing, ain't no big deal. So we make our way over to Manhattan because her plan for the day was she wanted to go get her hat cleaned and she wanted to go pet somebody's puppy and, just hang out and a lot of little things in between there. And I'm saying to myself, well, that can't be too bad. But at the same time, we're in Manhattan. And when we went to Manhattan, I automatically knew that I was way out of my league because let me tell you something. In Manhattan, I know that the only thing that I really can afford is a slice of pizza or a hot dog. So I'm mindful of this, right? So she goes into this hat store, and she goes in there, to get her hats clean. And bro, I'm just like transfixed, totally mesmerized, man. She got me under this spell. I done forgot about the $70 that I spent, man, because I'm like, man, we moving and grooving, she doing all the little appropriate touching, man, to keep me interested. And I was like, man, I like her, man. I'm clueless and booeless, but I think this might be my new boo in there. So she come walking out the hat store, and she had this despondent look on her face. And I said, what's wrong, baby? She said, I seen this hat in there that I wanted, but I didn't have all the available funds on my card. So, my birthday's coming up. I'll get it later. I'm not worried about it. Let me tell you something. Something inside me stirred. And next thing you know, I went storming in that store as if she came out there and told me that one of those fellas in there offended her. And when I walked in that store, I said, where's the hat at that she wanted? I mean, I'm standing with pride and dignity, man. I'm standing firm, man. Because I'm like, man, shit, she can't be out here unhappy because it's a hat in here that she wants. Man, fuck, I gotta get her that hat, right? So this is my train of thought. But in the meantime, I am thinking that the hat might cost about $30 or $40, I done forgot I'm in Manhattan, man. This chick got me bewitched. So I go in there, man, give her the hat she wanted. Give her the hat. And I get a guy my credit card, man, and he ring that shit up. And next thing you know, man, that hat was $190. And I was like, God damn, to myself, right? I'm in now, man. I am fully committed. But at the same time, the spell done wore off. Because I'm saying to myself, right, shit, if I round it up to $200 for the hat, man, this chick is in me for $270 right now. Now, keep in mind, right, she ain't make me do nothing. She ain't asked me to do nothing, man. This woman right here, let me tell you something. She was beautiful. This was a beautiful woman, bro. And she was the kind of woman that make a man want to spend his goddamn money. And since my love language, right, is deeds or gifts, man, she had me. Now, I know that there's some of y'all guys out here, y'all don't roll like that. And I understand it. And I'm not talking to the guys like you. I'm talking to the guys like me, man. But I know one thing. Y'all guys, y'all ain't getting no pussy like that either. Because you're going to spend some money on a chick. And I heard a friend of mine once say, when he died, if it's a reincarnation, he want to come back as a badass bitch so he could take all these niggas' money. So, stay with the story, right? I'm saying to myself, man, I'm like, damn, this chick is in me, man, for damn near $300, man. I'm like, shit, I want to bail out. And I think she felt the spell breaking, right? Because, man, she put her hands on my shoulders and like leaned next to me. And man, next thing you know, man, I was back in it. But I'm still thinking like, God damn, man, I'm spending a lot of money messing with this chick. And now we finish up the rest of the evening, man, laughing and drinking. We had fun. You understand? It wasn't no, man, we had fun, man. We enjoyed ourselves and we had a good time. But man, I'm sitting there thinking the whole time, like, damn, man, this chick is running my motherfucking pockets, man. She chin checking me. That's the one thing about women. Women are chin check your ass. And she was chin checking me, man. So I got away from this whole thing, man. At the end of the day, man, you know, I was out of like $600 fucking dollars, man, by the end of the day. And I'm not necessarily feeling like a fool, man, because I'm one of them kind of guys, man. I got my fair shit with me when it comes to the opposite sex, man. And just like I can dish it out, I can take it, man. And I recognize, like, man, this chick right here, even though she's beautiful, she is way out of my league, man. And it's like this point right here, man, I'm looking for an exit strategy, man. Because I'm like, I cannot hang out with this chick, man. Because she will fucking clean me out. And the thing about it, she would clean me out without even asking, man. Because again, I can't stress enough, this woman never asked me for a single dime, man. She just had the look and the demeanor of one of them kind of chicks that you just want to spend your money on her, man. And the crazy thing about it is, right, I know better. And prior to now, I would have said nothing like this would have never happened to me. But let me tell you something. It's an old saying. Don't never say what you wouldn't do. Just say what you haven't done yet. And let me tell you something. I didn't know that I would find myself so bewitched by the beauty of a woman that I would be sharing the type of experience that I'm now sharing with you all. So these are my thoughts, man. And again, it's not something that I'm mad about. This is comedic material. This is an experience on the do's, the don'ts, and the dumb shit. But it's also the experience of stay in your lane, man. You know, sometimes you might see a woman, man, and she might be gorgeous. But that woman may be way, way out of your league, man. And you gotta know when you gotta take a step back, you gotta pass on that. Hey, man, this dating thing, man, it's not personal, man. Everybody out there trying to get what they want. And in the midst of looking for what you want, man, sometimes, man, you're going to win. Other times you're going to lose. Sometimes you're going to just get out, man, with just a few dollars out of your pocket and with a lesson that you can learn from. So, you know, that's been pretty much my thoughts on it. And when I think about it in hindsight, right, I kind of think this sister may have been running a scam, man, because, you know, when I think about the overall view of the date, one of the things I noticed, man, when we was out eating, you know, she never ate all her food, man. She only ate a few portions of her food. And as she ate a few portions of her food, she was always getting carryouts. And right away, I'm thinking to myself, like, yeah, man, she might be taking that food back to somebody. You know, I started getting hip to it because all the signs and symptoms of a possible scam might have been there. I got a sick mother. I got a troubled son. Woe is me. I'm the damsel in distress. And me, I was on some saber hoe shit. Not saying that this woman was a hoe, but hey, man, I just felt the need to protect and do for this woman, man. And it was a lot, man. But again, at the end of the day, man, I I couldn't mess with that sister, man. She was way, way out of my league, man, because she was major league. And, it's a lesson that I learned from, and it's something that I felt that I would share. Some people might say, well, that's not a match date from hell. Well, it was a match date from hell for me because, man, I don't like spending my money the way I spent my money. So, with that said, I'm done with it. Bam!